The room buzzed with excitement as people shuffled in, eager to participate in the much-anticipated Q&A session. Rows of chairs filled quickly, and the clatter of voices mixed with laughter and chatter created an electric atmosphere. Brightly colored banners adorned the walls, each one showcasing inspiring words of encouragement, while a large stage at the front promised an opportunity for transformation. As the session began, participants leaned forward in their seats, their eyes shining with hope and curiosity. Some held pens ready to jot down notes, while others whispered their thoughts to friends beside them. The air was thick with anticipation, each individual wondering what questions might be asked and how those answers could spark change. Among the crowd was Kyra Bennett, a 13-year-old girl with a heart full of dreams but a mind plagued by doubt. She watched from her seat, feeling small amid the rising tide of eager voices. Each time someone stood up to share their question or perspective, Kyra felt her confidence wane just a little more. "What if my question isn't important?" she thought to herself, questioning her place in the sea of passionate individuals. Despite her excitement at the event itself, a wave of uncertainty washed over her. As she nervously glanced around the room, she considered slipping out quietly before anyone noticed. Little did she know that what happened next would change everything for her. Kyra Bennett sat in her chair, her heart racing as she watched the crowd around her. The energy was contagious, but it only made her feel smaller. At just 13 years old, Kyra had always been shy, preferring to blend into the background rather than stand out. Today was supposed to be different. She wanted to find her voice and learn, but the loud laughter and confident voices surrounding her made her doubt herself even more. Every time someone stepped up to the microphone, sharing their thoughts and questions, Kyra felt a sinking feeling in her stomach. "What if my question isn't good enough?" she wondered, glancing at her notes, filled with scribbles that seemed to lose meaning in the lively atmosphere. She could almost hear the whispers of self-doubt echoing in her mind. "No one will care what you have to say." As the minutes passed, an intense urge to leave swelled inside her. Kyra imagined slipping out unnoticed, escaping the pressure of the room. All she wanted was to feel like she belonged, yet she remained trapped in her insecurities. Just when she was about to make her move, something unexpected happened that would change everything. Little did she know that a simple touch could spark a courage within her that she never thought possible. Kyra's heart pounded as she sat in her chair, and an unsettling wave of discouragement washed over her. She glanced down at her notes again, the words blurring together and losing their meaning in her mind. "What if I sound silly? What if no one cares?" The thoughts spiraled around her like a whirlwind, each one louder than the last. From where she sat, she observed other participants effortlessly sharing their thoughts, their voices confident and firm. Feeling stripped of her courage, Kyra's eyes darted to the exit, yearning for a way out. Every moment that passed made the urge to escape stronger. "Maybe if I just leave now, no one will notice," she thought desperately. She wished she could be bold like those around her, sharing big ideas and sparking conversations that turned heads. Her question felt so small in comparison, almost insignificant amidst all that talent and enthusiasm. Her palms were slightly damp as she clutched the back of her chair for support. "It's just a question," she reminded herself, trying to justify her own curiosity. Yet, the flickering shadows of doubt loomed larger than ever. Deep inside, Kyra longed for someone to validate her feelings, to assure her that asking a question was worth the risk. Just as she convinced herself to stand and slip away quietly, she felt a gentle touch on her wrist that paused her thoughts entirely. As Kyra felt the gentle touch on her wrist, she turned her gaze to the source, and her eyes widened in surprise. Standing before her was none other than Rosa Parks, a legendary figure known for her brave stand against injustice. The calm presence of Rosa was like a soothing balm in the chaotic atmosphere of the room. Dressed elegantly yet simply, she exuded kindness and strength, making it clear that she was someone who had faced great challenges with grace. Rosa's warm smile seemed to illuminate Kyra's worries, creating an instant connection between the two. It was as if Rosa understood the whirlwind of emotions Kyra was experiencing. "You have something important to share," Rosa seemed to convey without saying a word. In that moment, all of Kyra's doubts faded into the background, replaced by a flicker of hope. The stories of Rosa's courage and determination echoed in Kyra's mind. She remembered how Rosa had refused to give up her seat on the bus, an act that sparked a movement for civil rights. Here was this powerful woman standing right in front of her, and somehow, it made Kyra feel stronger too. With every heartbeat, she began to believe that perhaps her own question mattered just as much as any other voice in the room. The tiny spark of courage ignited within her, urging Kyra to reconsider leaving and to embrace her moment instead. As Kyra stood uncertainly, ready to slip away from the room and her fears, she felt Rosa's hand gently wrap around her wrist. It was a simple gesture, yet in that moment, it felt monumental to Kyra. The warmth of Rosa's touch seemed to radiate encouragement, reminding Kyra that she wasn't alone in her struggle. There was something undeniably powerful about having a legend like Rosa Parks reach out to her, as if she was being given permission to stand tall and express herself. What if my question really matters? Kyra thought, the flicker of courage igniting into a growing flame. Rosa's presence not only calmed her nerves but also instilled a sense of purpose within her. The kindness in Rosa's eyes seemed to say, "You have every right to ask your question." This moment of support sparked hope in Kyra's heart, and her doubts began to dissolve like mist under the sun. Maybe her voice could join the chorus of others sharing their thoughts. Maybe it would be heard after all. Kyra focused on her question, the words she had prepared suddenly feeling more significant and worthy of being shared. With Rosa's encouraging grip still present, she regained her confidence and took a step toward the microphone, ready to transform this moment into something meaningful. Arts poised on the brink of change, Kyra realized that this was her chance to share what had been weighing on her heart. From his seat at the back of the room, Coach Devon Blake observed everything unfold with keen eyes. As a mentor, he had seen many young people struggle with their self-worth, but witnessing Kyra's moment with Rosa Parks was particularly profound. Devon had always believed that every voice in a room held the potential to make an impact, and today, he was about to see that belief come to life. When Rosa took Kyra's wrist, it wasn't just a gesture, it was a powerful affirmation. Coach Devon could see the shift in Kyra's demeanor almost instantly. Her posture straightened as if she had been infused with new energy. He remembered how often he encouraged his athletes to share their thoughts and feelings, reinforcing the idea that everyone's perspective matters. This moment embodied that lesson perfectly. As Kyra approached the microphone, a hush fell over the crowd, and Coach Devon felt a swell of pride. He silently cheered her on, recognizing that this was more than just a question. It was Kyra stepping into her own power. The entire room erupted with anticipation, ready to hear what she had to say. In that instant, Devon understood why moments like this matter so much. They can change lives. It reminded him that inspiration often arises from unexpected connections, and he was grateful to witness such a pivotal moment in Kyra's journey toward finding her voice. As Kyra stood by the microphone, her heart raced with uncertainty. On one hand, the idea of stepping up and speaking felt like a mountain too steep to climb. Thoughts raced through her mind like a whirlwind. What if they laugh at me? What if my question isn't good enough? Just moments ago, she had been ready to leave, convinced that her voice didn't matter in this vibrant crowd. But then there was Rosa Parks, standing beside her, radiating encouragement and strength. Rosa's gentle grip on Kyra's wrist was more than just a touch, it felt like a lifeline. As Kyra looked into the calm eyes of the civil rights icon, she found an unexpected well of bravery rising within her. Maybe I can do this, she thought, as hope pushed away the shadows of doubt lingering in her mind. The internal struggle between staying and leaving raged on, but Rosa's unwavering presence reminded Kyra that bravery doesn't mean being fearless. It means moving forward despite fear. With every heartbeat, she began to feel less small and more significant. Everyone has something important to say, she recalled Coach Devon's words echoing in her head. Inspired by Rosa's legacy and supportive energy, Kyra took a deep breath, ready to share her question with the world around her. This was her moment, and she resolved to seize it. The stage was set for her to step out of the shadows and into the light of her own potential. With her heart pounding and her thoughts racing, Kyra took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment. Rosa's supportive grip on her wrist felt like a steady anchor against the tide of fear swirling inside her. As she glanced around the room, she noticed the eager faces of her peers, all waiting for their chance to speak. In that instant, the weight of her insecurities began to lift, replaced by a fierce determination to be heard. Kyra squared her shoulders and focused on her question. The encouragement from Rosa had ignited a fire within her, and she could almost hear the voices of countless others who had fought for their right to speak up. "I can do this," she whispered to herself, feeling a wave of energy surge through her. This was no longer just about asking a question. It was about claiming her place among those who spoke out and made a difference. She could feel the warmth of Rosa's presence beside her, a reminder that she was not alone in her journey. Each step toward the microphone felt like a victory against the doubts that had plagued her moments before. Kyra locked eyes with Rosa one last time, drawing strength from the woman's remarkable legacy. As she stepped up to the microphone, she reached deep within herself and prepared to share not just her question but a piece of her own story, one that mattered just as much as anyone else's. As Kyra stepped up to the microphone, a hush fell over the room, all eyes turning toward her. Her heart raced with a mix of nervousness and newfound bravery. For a moment, she glanced at the audience, and the weight of their anticipation both excited and intimidated her. She took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of Rosa's presence nearby as a steadying influence. Hi everyone," Kyra began, her voice slightly trembling but gaining strength with each word. The crowd remained silent, hanging on her every syllable as she continued. "My name is Kyra Bennett, and I have a question about, well, how to find your voice when you feel like it doesn't matter." As she spoke, Kyra could sense the shift in the atmosphere around her. What began as a whisper of doubt transformed into an echo of hope that resonated with those listening. The vulnerability in her voice was met with nods and smiles from the audience, encouraging her to keep going. With each word she spoke, Kyra felt herself becoming more confident. The initial waves of fear washed away as she realized that her question mattered just as much as anyone else's. She shared her thoughts passionately, capturing not only Rosa's attention but that of everyone present. In that moment, she wasn't just asking a question, she was making a statement about the importance of sharing one's truth. As she finished speaking, an electric energy filled the room, a testament to her courage and authenticity that sparked inspiration in others around her. As Kyra finished her question, the room buzzed with a renewed energy. Rosa Parks stepped forward, her eyes shining with warmth and wisdom. "Thank you for sharing that, Kyra," she began, her voice calm and reassuring. "Your voice is important, and it's vital that you always express what's in your heart. Never doubt the power of your words. They can inspire others just as they have brought you here today." Kyra felt a wave of validation wash over her. Rosa's words struck a chord deep within, reshaping how she viewed herself. It was as if the legendary figure had reached into Kyra's spirit and unearthed a treasure hidden beneath layers of doubt. By acknowledging her courage to speak, Rosa emphasized that every individual contributes to a larger story, including Kyra. In the moments that followed, other speakers from the panel chimed in, echoing similar sentiments about the importance of sharing one's truth. It doesn't matter how small or large your question seems, it can spark the change needed to drive conversations forward. One speaker added, nodding toward Kyra. As she absorbed their encouragement, Kyra realized she had the power to influence others with her voice. The perspective shift was profound. She understood now that her feelings were valid and worthy of being shared. This experience would mark a turning point in her life, igniting a fierce belief in her own potential and the understanding that she had the ability to inspire change, both in herself and within others. Reflecting on the experience, Kyra felt a profound shift within herself. The moment she had shared her question at the Q&A session had opened her eyes to her own strength and ability to impact others. No longer did she see herself as just a shy girl in the background. She now viewed herself as a participant with valuable contributions to make. The approval and encouragement from Rosa Parks and the panel ignited a fire in her that urged her to engage more actively in discussions. In the days following the event, Kyra found herself participating more in class and sharing her thoughts with friends. The fear that once held her back seemed to diminish, replaced by a new excitement about voicing her opinions. She remembered Rosa's words echoing in her mind. "Your voice is important." With each discussion, she became bolder, choosing to speak up rather than hang back. Kyra also began attending workshops and community meetings, eager to hear others' stories and share her own. Facilitated by her newfound confidence, she developed a desire to inspire other young people who felt unheard or invisible. This experience transformed not just how she viewed herself, but how she engaged with the world around her. Kyra realized that everyone has a story worth telling, and through her journey, she hoped to empower others to find their own voices too. As the event came to a close, Coach Devon Blake stood up to address the audience, his eyes filled with pride at what he had witnessed. "Today, we've seen something truly special," he began, his voice resonating with warmth. "Kyra's journey is a powerful reminder of how important it is to believe in ourselves and our ability to make a difference." He paused for a moment, letting his words sink in. "Too often, we doubt our voices and think that our contributions don't matter," he continued. "But just like Rosa Parks inspired Kyra by reaching out with kindness and encouragement, we all have the power to uplift one another. When we support each other, we create an environment where everyone feels valued and heard." Looking around at the eager faces in the crowd, Coach Devon emphasized how crucial it is for each individual to recognize their worth. "Every one of you has a unique perspective that can influence change. Never forget that. You don't need to have all the answers or be perfect. You just need to be willing to share your truth and stand up for what you believe in." His passionate speech energized the room once more. As he concluded, he reminded everyone that moments like Kyra's could spark courage in others who might also feel unheard. The ripple effect of support and empowerment was profound. Together, they could inspire future generations to find their voices and contribute to important conversations. As the event concluded, it became clear that the moments shared that day held profound importance. Kyra's journey from self-doubt to empowerment illustrated how a small act of kindness, like Rosa Parks' gentle touch, can create a ripple effect that impacts a person's life forever. This Q&A session was more than just a gathering. It was a pivotal turning point for Kyra and an inspiring reminder for everyone present. Encouragement can transform lives in ways we often overlook. It instills courage, ignites potential, and encourages individuals to share their truths. Each person who stood up that day, even if just to listen, was part of a larger story about connection and growth. Kyra's experience revealed how vital it is for people to support one another, fostering an environment where questions are welcomed and voices are heard. In a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming, Kyra learned that her thoughts mattered. Her newfound confidence encouraged her to engage more actively in conversations and inspire others who might feel invisible. This lesson is timeless. Every small moment has the power to shape destinies. By believing in ourselves and lifting each other up, we create a brighter future filled with diverse voices contributing to meaningful dialogue. The legacy of encouragement continues through actions big and small, reminding us that every person has the capacity to make a difference, just as Rosa made a difference for Kyra.